What's going on? Yeah, just want to talk about like past pain. Recently, I thought back and revisited some old my frustrating, and I really got upset about it. And the thing I want to talk to y'all today about is just not letting past pain affect your present situation. It's easy to reflect back and relive that moment that actually hurt you or tested you to be, you know, in a state where you wanted to retaliate. But it's important that you don't let it dictate your present. Don't let your past pain dictate your present pain. Your present situation. If you made it through it, be forgiving and willing enough to transition past it. And it's not easy. It's a process to move past it. If it lingers in your mind still, and it's been gone a while, it's gonna take a process. You got to learn forgiveness. You got to learn to forgive yourself. You got to learn to forgive the person or the situation that happened to you, or the people that wronged you. Whatever you feel triggered the situation, you got to acknowledge it as what had happened and try to learn what it is that you need to do in the future to deal with it better. Because trials do happen for you to learn from them most of the time, and sometimes we bring it on ourselves. It's possible for us to bring a situation on ourselves if we do something wrong or we do the wrong thing. It's possible for us to do to reap consequences of bad situations or bad choices we made. So it's that, but don't condemn yourself for it, and don't worry yourself. Us as men, I know everybody go through it. I just talk about men because I just feel like we need to address our internal battles. You got to work on that inner man and really regroup and reposition yourself and build enough confidence and understand that you're worth something. Every day you blessed to live. It's worth putting the effort forward to do better. So, and I had to regroup myself sometimes, and I don't always post my struggles, and I'm not going to, because what I really want to do, is inspire people to, do better. But I will give testimonies, but some things I let past situations creep back into my mind, and it stirred me up. I ain't gonna lie, and it was a few situations, there's a few things that just triggered a little anger in me, and I just kind of relived it, and I soaked in that moment too long. So just now, today's another day, and I can move forward. But if you relive that pain and you reenact it, the trauma of what was coming back. So yeah, and I'm not a therapist or a psychologist or nothing. I'm just analyzing my own life and situation, and I'm just talking to help people deal with their emotions and let them know how I process my emotions. Because this is not what I'm doing here is not a challenge or a competition. It's knowledge and wisdom to move forward. At least I'm trying to give what I think is knowledge and wisdom to move forward, because I have to do this in humility, because I'm not trying to control nobody with the information that I'm giving. I'm trying to help somebody genuinely, if possible. You know what I'm saying? So please don't take it as me trying to compete with you emotionally or anything like that. It's just me trying to help somebody. It'll be a blessing to me if I could really, reach or touch somebody that actually needs to hear what I'm saying. And it's just people in general. I don't mean to be so what's the word? It's a word. I'm not trying to force anyone to listen to me, but I'm gonna do this until I'm led not to do it, or just whatever my free will allows me to go with this. That's what I'm gonna do, because people retaliate in a lot of different ways, and people express pain in a whole lot of different ways, or they try to get over it in a lot of different ways. People turn to certain things. A lot of us turn to, substances. Some turn to attention. Some turn to physical retaliation. Some turn to destructive, behavior. Some turn to comfort to others that they probably shouldn't confide in or something like that. But it can manifest in a lot of different ways. So when I'm speaking about past trauma, it's hopefully y'all can take from this that to not let it dictate your present situation in your life. I know, especially if you got past it. Now, it's one thing to be going through it, but know that you're not in it alone. If you're a God-fearing individual and you believe in God, God is in this thing with you. And it's worth it to try. And I'm gonna reflect back to something Myron Golden said. He was like, believe God's will for your life before you even know what it is. Believe God in, even in the situation. Know that He's present in the situation more than the situation is actually happening. So you're not going through it alone. And there's a lot to just unpack and process when it comes to us dealing with present or past struggles and things. So I encourage y'all to just endure and complete your task. Stay on task, stay on course, because life's gonna keep going anyway. Don't let it hold you back from the place that you're trying to go. If you have a vision and a path, God gave you provision for your life, go ahead and just pursue it and go after it and get after it. I ain't got this thing figured out, because like today was just simply a challenging day for me, because I simply allowed myself to relive some past pain that bothered me. And there are certain things I had to work through. And then it's not always, it can be something that's going on presently that actually triggers things that, if you see a pattern long enough, and you feel, violated or disrespected or mistreated in any kind of way, that stuff will show up. So, it'd be that too, It can be a situation where, you feeling violated or you feeling disrespected, and us men, we invest a lot into respect and disrespect. It's just what we are as men in general. We value respect, and it's a must between us men, because the way we respect each other determines how we gonna treat each other a lot of times, just as far as men. Because what people have to understand between two men is that it can get unfiltered. A man and woman relationship can be different. I mean, it's a lot of men that don't operate as real men, and they'll let anything that a woman say get to them. But for the most part, most men show mercy to women, and they respect and honor them, to a certain degree. They don't look at women as men, and I think that's a better way to look at it, because there ain't no glory to be had in, being abusive to a woman. So, and ain't a lot to gain when a woman, provokes a man, so that work both ways. But, it's as far as men, we can really get into a state of mind with each other where it doesn't matter, and once the war starts, Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to, die. So it's, I get you before you get me and all that. So to avoid all that stuff, it's important that you learn to process your feelings. You learn to understand people the best way you can. You learn to communicate and use your words to desensitize a situation. You know what I'm saying? To de-escalate some things, because things can escalate and get out of control real fast. So on that note, I'm gonna go and wrap it up, y'all. I hope this really do help somebody, and just be confident in yourselves, man, and go out and be great. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. I'm gonna try to do this with a humble heart and not get prideful or not let the world, alter my good intention for the things and the content that I'm putting on this page. I'm gonna try to be, straight up and just be real, try to be authentic with this channel. I can't say I'm always do that, because like I said, I got tempted earlier, and it just, temptation gonna come, tempting to, operate, on a lower level, lower frequency or whatever. But yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope this helps somebody. All right, y'all stay up, and go be great. All right, see y'all.